Yes, people, this is your girl Aleisha and welcome to the final episode, the finale of Top Boy. Wow, season 3, episode 6, If We Are Not Monsters. Let's get into this. We start the episode right where we left off at Summer House, and it is kicking off. There is so much outrage between the enforcement agents coming in, the police knocking over that young girl. It is all kicking off. You can see that the community, they're fed up, they are tired. And in the midst of all of this, we see the connect that Deshane's lawyer put him in touch with to try and get him out. They discuss Deshane's options in terms of places he can go and hide out. He can't come back to England after this. They talk about the different locations, and Deshane is starting to realise the severity of the situation. As they are starting to get down to business, the guy realises that Deshane doesn't have the funds and he gets up to leave. Deshane tries to explain to him he might as well stay and wait, but he explains to him once you do have the money, you just text yes to that number that Wilson gave you, and that is when he will start work. He ain't gonna do anything before he gets that money. Sully calls Kieran to meet up. He needs some bits taken care of, and he also drops the bomb that he knows that it was Jack. Kieran is surprised. He was so blindsided with this. I don't think Jack let him know that she told Sully. Kieran, he does his best acting, trying to act surprised. Oh, it was Jack? What? So was she going to give the food back? Sully says that she is, and Kieran asks, when she does give the food, what's going to happen? And Sully says it all depends on her attitude. Now we are with Jack and Bex, and they are talking and trying to discuss how this is going to work. How is she going to give back the goods? They are talking about this past. Bex needs to know what is really going to happen because she is scared and she is not sure. Kieran gives Jack a call and lets her know that Sully wants to see him. He wants him to be there at the drop as well. She tries to say to Kieran that everything is sorted, she's going to give it back, but I don't think that she is aware of what Kieran said to Sully, letting him know that he believed it was the Fields lot. So this is where there's some confusion and their stories aren't straight, because Kieran asks Jack if Sully mentioned anything about him, and she lets him know that he didn't. Shelley gets to Summer House to give Deshane his money and passport, and that's when they have a moment, just realizing that yes, they have so much love for each other, but things, they just don't work, and it's okay. She wishes him well and says, I hope you make it. Back at the home, we see that Stefan wants to leave to check on Erin, but he is stopped by the workers at the home because of everything that's going outside with the riots in Summer House. No one is allowed to leave, and this of course angers Steph. He ends up shouting at them and then going back to his room. Kieran meets up with Sully and they are talking about everything. Sully lets it be known that he knows that Kieran lied. Kieran explains that he told her she shouldn't have done it and what she done was stupid, but Sully, he listens, but you know what's gonna happen. Sully don't care. He is livid. He is absolutely mad, and that's when he gives the signal and it is time for Kieran to go. We see Junior take Kieran away, and we know that that's it for Kieran. That is it. Kieran was begging and pleading with Sully not to do this, but Sully don't like the begging. It's disgusting to him. So he gave that signal. Junior came, took Kieran away, and I felt so sorry for Kieran because he knows what is about to happen. We can all assume that Kieran is no longer with us. Just as Sully is about to go, he gets a text message from Jack letting him know the spot will be at the community centre and this will be at 8 p.m. We can see that Deshane also gets the same message from Jack letting him know the drop-off spot and the time. Next we see Sully is at the community centre waiting for Jack, and as she is making her way there, we see that she is met with Deshane. Now they have an encounter and she explains that she is going to drop it to Sully, but Deshane, he is not having it and he is trying to stop Jack in her tracks. As she continues to try and make a move to go, he punches Jack and attacks her and takes the food. I could not believe it. We ain't seen Deshane this desperate in never. Deshane jacks the food from Jack. We see him start to run through all of the chaos happening at Summer House, and that is where he makes his way back up to the block. Jack, she goes to the community center to let Sully know what's happened. Now Sully gets up, he sees that she is empty-handed. He makes his way towards her and he starts to interrogate. She explains what just happened. Sully goes absolutely flip mode squad on Jack, asking her, how did Deshane know that you would be here? He is mad. She can't even answer right now. You can tell she is scared. He said, how did he know? And that's where he says to Jack, that's why you ain't getting no pass. Now he realizes that Jack was the one that let Deshane know. That's how he knew that she was going to be there. And he leaves, but not without saying, neither did Kieran, letting Jack know that something has happened to Kieran and it ain't nothing good. Mandy comes to see if Jack is okay, and Jack asks her if Kieran has been there, and Mandy lets her know that she hasn't seen him. Now that is confirming Jack's worst fears that something definitely has happened to Kieran. Now we are back with Deshane. You can see that he is stressed. He sends that yes text letting them know he's ready, and that's when he gets a call back. But Deshane lets him know that things are going to have to run a bit differently because this is not cash, this is the food, and he explains to him that he can give him a cut of it if he can get him out. He says that he will give him a call back, but Deshane is desperate. He needs to know answers right there and then, but the guy said he will call him back. Next we see Stefan is at home on his phone looking at everything going on at Summer House, and we also see he gets a message from Erin which says ignoring me, so it looks like Steph, he's not in the mood to have a talk, and Erin sends a broken heart. We then go on to see Sully give Junior a call letting him know he needs him at Summer House and he needs him to bring some equipment. Jack goes to Kieran's house to see if he is there, and that is where his mum opens the door and she asks if Kieran is there, and his mum, looking confused, says no, she thought he was with her. And that is where it dawns on Jack that Kieran, he's gone. As all of the chaos is happening in Summer House, we see Deshane is running. We now see that riot police are also there and they are trying to calm down the crowds. Deshane is running up and down all throughout the chaos, trying to hide away with these bags, and that's when he gets a call from the guy letting him know that he needs to up what he's offering, and Deshane makes a deal and says that he needs to send his best guys and they better be on smoke because there are a lot of ops looking for him. He says that he will send 2 of his guys and they will be there in an hour. Junior arrives and we see that he has brought the tools for Sully. And he also highlights to Sully that it is hot right now, but you can see Sully doesn't care. They see some of the workers and they let them know that if they see Deshane to get the bags off of him, and they also give Bradders a gun, letting him know that basically it's on site. But you can see that this guy, it's not about that. He's not about that life. And Sully says to him, have you got a problem? Of course he's got a problem. All he does is do the little shotting. All of this additional violence is not for them. We can see that the tensions are rising even more. A fire brigade gets there, but they are blocked by everybody that has been rioting. They can't get through, and some of those people even start to attack the fire van. We see that Sully, he is looking for Deshane up and down. Then we see Deshane get a text letting him know that those guys will be with him soon to get him out of Summer House and get him out of the country. We see that while Deshane is waiting, some guys end up in the house. They look like they're about to light it up, but that's when Deshane shows them what he's about and tells them to get out. Deshane makes a call to find out how close those guys are. They're about 20 minutes out, and the guy asks him where does he want to meet. He tells them the meeting spot and starts to make his way out the building. Now, as he's making his way, remember that some of those exits are blocked. He's panicking right now, but he manages to get out. As Deshane tries to escape Summer House, he spots Sully and Junior and starts to leg it. As Deshane is trying to escape, he runs into the youngers. They spot him as well, and that is where he shoots Bradders. There is too much going on right now. Bradders is down. That is where Sully and Junior catch up and ask where did Deshane go, and they let him know which direction he went in. They are running after him, and that is where Deshane manages to get to the garages and is met by the men who are going to help him escape. This ends up in a shootout and it just goes off. It is absolute carnage. Junior manages to hit one of those guys and one of those guys hits Junior. Junior is taken out. Sully, he's in absolute shock. He can't believe what is going on. Sully manages to take the other guy out. Now Deshane is on his own. All he has is those bags, his gun, and Sully is onto him. It is looking like a dead end for Deshane. He manages to throw the bag over, and just as he is about to climb over, Sully shoots him. Deshane is in disbelief. He says to Sully, "You shot me." And Sully says, "You robbed me." And this is where these two have a talk. You can just see that throughout their whole relationship, there has just been this disconnect, this miscommunication. We are visually seeing it by the way that both of them are talking, and we've got this wall dividing them. Sully is in disbelief. I don't think he actually realizes what he's done. Deshane, as he is there dying, he lets Sully know that he always did have respect for him. Sully didn't feel that he respected him. He always made him feel like he was just nothing, like they weren't partners. But Deshane lets it be known that he did respect him, and those are his last words before Deshane passes. Sully climbs over and sees that Deshane is gone. He takes the bags, and that is the end of Deshane. I can't believe that this is the ending for Deshane. Sully killed his brethren. I know they had their bickering and their arguing, but deep down inside there was a love there. Well, clearly there wasn't, because look at what has happened between the two. I'm not gonna lie, this scene was... Why Sully? Why? This scene was a lot. And that's where Sully says the now famous line, "If we are not monsters, we are food. And I could never be food." Hey, Sully, you're gonna eat those words, aren't ya? Sully climbs over and sees for himself that Deshane is gone. It looks like he's in disbelief, but at the same time acceptance. He takes the bag, throws it over, and then makes his way to climb back over that wall. Jack is back home, and she lets Bex know that everything is going to be okay. She knows that Kieran is gone. There's just so much going on for her right now. So I'm glad that she's home, and let's hope she stays safe. Now we are back on the bench with Stefan. He is talking to Jamie, just letting him know how he feels and saying what the worst part about being alone is. He misses the noise. He misses having his brothers around. Next, we see Sully walking his daughter to school, and he lets her know that he is not going to be about for a while. She's not going to see him for a while. He says that they will speak, but he's going to be away for a while. She's fine as long as they can catch up and speak. It's all good. Sully knows that his time is nearing the end. I think he can feel it. He knows that he needs to get away because he's done too much wickedness, and he knows that there are a lot of people that are going to have it out for him. Then we see Sully walk through the park, and that is when he is met by Steph. Yes, Steph is here. He has the gun in his hand, and it looks as if that is it for Sully. They have a talk, and Steph asks Sully, how does it feel? How does it feel to be on the other end? That's when Sully lets him know that he stopped feeling a long time ago. He understands what he done, and he is ready to face those consequences. But Stefan, he doesn't pull the trigger. He says to Sully, he ain't worth it. Yes, that is a round of applause for Stefan. I know a lot of people were disappointed that it wasn't Stefan that done it, but I'm glad it wasn't Stefan. Stefan, you see what the roads do. If I were you, I would follow in Aaron's footsteps. You know that's what Jamie would have wanted as well. And I think that is what Stefan is going to do. He might not go to school, but he is going to find a way, and he is going to do better things with his time and his life. You understand? That's why he walked away, because he knew if he pulled that trigger, it's just going to be more problems for Stefan. He done the right thing by walking away. We see that Sully, he walks away to his car and he is relieved. We see that he actually had a gun with him as well, so he was ready and prepared, and at any moment he could have done a reverse Uno on Steph, but like he said, he knew the consequences of his actions and it's basically an eye for an eye, so he was prepared to get taken out. But no, Stefan let him go, and that's when we see that he puts his gun away, and it's like he had a bit of a sigh of relief. But just as he is getting ready to go, that is when we see that Sully, that if we are not monsters, we are food, and I could never be food, gets taken out. And I don't care what anyone says, Jack took him out. Yes, that was Jack. We see the bop, you see the walk. She had the most motive. Sully let her know that she weren't getting no pass and she has a family to protect, and she protected them. She told Bex everything would be okay, and everything is going to be okay because Deshane and Sully, the biggest threats to Jack, have been taken out. She did what she needed to do because she knew it was going to either be him or her. And that is how this episode of Top Boy and the whole entire series ends. Now, I know a lot of people were disappointed with this final season of Top Boy. I've got to admit, I thought it was a good season, but I must admit, I don't think it was the best season of Top Boy, in my opinion. It was a good season nonetheless, but I do agree with some people's sentiments that they felt that this season was rushed. The first thing I said when they released the episode list was, why have we only got 6? Why? We could have done with a good 8, 10, and I think if we did have a few more episodes, this definitely would have helped this season. We would have been able to answer more questions. We would have been able to get more things in. We would have been able to make sense of some of the reasons and motivations between why everyone was doing what they were doing. But I do feel like everything had to get crammed in, and yes, it did feel rushed in places, but nonetheless, I still think it was a good season, very entertaining, and I still think that Top Boy is one of the greatest shows to come out of the UK. Overall, I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it 8. 8 boys out of 10. I think it was a good episode. A lot was going on. Poor Kieran, poor Sully, poor Deshane. Well, it's not really, do you know something? We can't really... It's hard because we know these characters, we know them in and out, but they were really bad. They were really naughty. They've always been naughty. They've always been bad. They didn't care about their community. They just cared about the money and the power. So, you know, it's a shame, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching Top Boy. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season as well. You never know, we might get a Top Boy spin-off with Jack showing us how she lived after she got rid of Sully. But yes, people, that was Top Boy season 3, episode 6. That was the finale, and that was the final episode of the entire series. I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching, for sharing, and for all of the engagement over these past few episodes. You have been amazing. Thank you so much. Let me know what shows you want me to review next. Now that there is no more Top Boy, this is officially the end. I hope you have enjoyed to the fullest. But yes, people, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you are kept up to date each and every time I upload. Hit that subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the final episode of the season and of the series. And just let me know what you thought about Top Boy as a whole. Leave your comments down below. That was Aleisha Lee Reviews Top Boy. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. And yeah, I will catch you in the next review. Don't know, boy.